Hello and welcome to a Friday stream, or whenever you're watching this. I am Peter Vaughan with Cardboard Alchemy. We are going to chat about games, what you're going to be playing this weekend, what we're going to be playing, what we're making. I just saw a comment in the comments where Friday wouldn't be the same without this stream, and this stream is how I know the weekend has started. So thank you for saying that, and thank you for being here. Thank you for watching it later if you catch it later to kick off gaming, game night or whatever. Happy to talk to you. We also have Rosie in our channel. We're going to bring her on, our comms manager, to answer all your questions. If you have anything you want to talk about, Flamecraft Duels, Critter Kitchen, Andromeda's Edge. Our new campaign coming up is Andromeda's Edge Genesis. We can talk why I have an Asking for Troubles hat. It was made one year at a con, and I still have it. We can talk about anything. You want to talk about development, design, publishing, latest Kickstarters. We're going to talk a little bit about components because we just talked to our friends at Game Toppers. So we want to talk about components in this stream. Let's see. Welcome, everybody, for coming on. It's a busy time. It's July. We had a Kickstarter that finished in May, but we've been really packed, and we're not letting down because the team is we're going to Gen Con in just like a couple of weeks, and we're going to have Whisper table, which is our new game coming. But we're also going to have Genesis and Andromeda's Edge Genesis on the table. We're also going to have Critter Kitchen making its debut at a USA show. So with Lucky Duck Games, Critter Kitchen is going to be all the rage. They're building a kitchen and it's going to be gorgeous. It's a whole fun thing. We're also having demos of Critter Kitchen with one of the designers, Alex Cutler. We're running Flamecraft Duels tournaments. We're running Flamecraft games where you can walk away with merch. There's so much stuff happening at Gen Con, and while we're getting ready for that, we're just cramming on making Genesis ready to go as well. So thanks for admiring the shelf behind me. This is just a partial amount of my game collection because I'm not at the office right now. I'm at home, and I like games that are like, I like doing an alternating where one is facing out and then a bunch are stacked. It's actually a terrible system because I can never remember what's stacked behind the games that are facing out, but I love to look at board game covers. And I have a fun time choosing what's going to make the fun, like what's going to make it on the covers or what's going to be facing out, and I change it all the time, and it's not in any form of order either, which is terrible. Let's find out how Rosie organizes her board game shelves. Now we're
in different places. What is going on?
We're not in our usual stream locations in any way.
I'm in a different pink room, where I am visiting family with Dobby.
On cue. Nice.
It's difficult because there's another dog downstairs and they don't like each other. So and there's nowhere he can go.
Crap. Yep. I gotcha.
If I ran
just every sentence, if we could just have let's go some.
He might have to be sat in my arms at some point.
I do also, by the way, Addie, I like this as well. I do like the cherry blossoms on the wall.
I know. There's a little bird as well.
That's cute.
Little robin. Yes, we love the robin, Dobby.
That's awesome. Well, we're not in our usual place, but we are going to do our usual thing. We just chat about games. You know, like I was saying, it's very busy around here. I actually just had we've been working on Flamecraft Duels a lot, and it's at the printer right now, but we're back and forth every day talking to the printer about different files. Like they're producing Flamecraft Duels, the deluxe edition. They're producing Flamecraft Dragons and Dragons, the expansion. And they're producing Flamecraft Dragons of the Past, the promo pack, in addition to new art books, new plush, new enamel pins, another round of Flamecraft minis. I mean, the production is big. It's crazy. We got the rule books done thanks to some community help at the end too. We asked everybody what they thought of the Dragons and Dragons rule book, and we got that file turned in. We're on the final files, which are like carton marks and some of the random stuff like hang tags for like we have a little we're gonna have potentially down the road some bonus amounts of duels coins that people could grab, and so we're making like a little pack, a little labels and stickers and things that have to go into packaging, all that stuff,
Yeah.
little stuff. So we're doing all of that, and that's a very busy time. But we're trying to make sure we play games. I believe, Rosie, you were playing games all day today, which is good.
Yeah, I was at a convention in Gateshead, Newcastle,
Okay.
UK. But I was actually so it's the launch of a charity game I've been working on called Cozy Days, and that's me.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's your game.
And I was signing promos, and there's one of my dog.
Oh, I want that card.
Well, I've got some now.
Okay,
but yeah, so and I got to play Pergola.
Oh yeah, I just
beautiful.
bought that.
You got it?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. It's a really interesting one because it's a hard teach because there's just so many so many scoring mechanics. Like it'll be like two of these, but once then it's very easy. Like it's literally like I want this and this and this.
Yes, but is it a harder teach than Whisperwood, Rosie?
No, I think actually you do this more than me now because you've been doing this for a very long time. But I'm now starting to, when I play games, go, oh, they really should have done like this and this, and that's a shame that they didn't show a visual of the scoring rather than expect you to check the rulebook every 5 minutes. I would have loved to have seen and they do have a thing, but it only makes sense once and I feel like it would have been good to have like a little guide that you could just check if you're learning. A lot of people are learning, like they play the game maybe 5 times. Some of our games get played less than that, so player guides are quite helpful. But it was really cute, and I really like the little bees. There's frogs, obviously.
If I understand it correctly, you can kind of choose if you want to. Is it a little sandboxy? Like you could either build up the stream or plant some more or do whatever you're.
Yeah, there's on the left, there's like an aviary, so you can put your bees here. There's a big board of just like a picture, and you're just adding plants to it, and there's no real specific place where those go. And then you'll score, say, I've got this many hyacinths, which scores this, and then the bees on them score this. And then there's a really cute little thing on the right where water droplets trickle down, and you can collect things up. And if the water droplet gets to the bottom, there's like another scoring thing. So it was really beautifully made. I really enjoyed it, but it was the person teaching it, Asmodee, had just been given the game like that morning, so it was just yeah. So often the case when the distributors, staff demoers from across the UK just get called up and given a game. Flip 7 was there, but Flip 7 takes about a second to learn. So
it's funny that you say that, because if you do have the right person, like I was at RageCon and Bree Woodward is with Office Dog and was teaching me There and Back Again, which is the Hobbit game. But she knows it so well. Like she was such a pro, and we immediately got in, and it was like,
is it good?
Oh my God, I'm so excited
because I've had an email, so I'm really excited.
I'm so excited. Because one of the things that was great about it is, because she described it. It's funny. She was teaching it, and she's like, if you know Railroad Inc., you're going to have no problem with this game. And I thought, Railroad Inc. and Hobbits, Rosie, just like, this game was made for you.
I was very, very casual in my replies to the email, like, yeah, no, you can send that on. That would be very. So I would like that a lot.
If you know Railroad Inc., you're going to be at home, and so you roll dice immediately, and they're like Railroad Inc. symbols, except there's also wizard hats and pieces of bread on the dice. And the very first scenario, you have Gandalf coming to Bilbo's house, and then is it Thorin? The top dwarf is also coming.
Yeah, Thorin Oakenshield.
And all the other dwarves are on your roll and write board. And so by the end of scenario 1, you have to connect lines with every dwarf where they don't make it. And if they get to the Shire and you haven't given them a piece of bread, then they get there, they don't have enough food for them. It was so fun. And the thing that's crazy about the game is the next scenario, completely different. Different rules, different ideas, different different board structure, different like goals. Oh my God, it's so interesting. To basically make a book of roll and writes. Now, I'm so excited for it.
I'm not surprised. Office Dog, they're very good.
They're very good.
The Lord of the Rings trick taking game is incredible. So
yeah, they're on fire right now. I think. I told them I think I trust them with these. I trust them with the Lord of the Rings IP explicitly now, because the games are all different. You know, making that pandemic-like one, and then making a trick-taking one, and making a roll and write one, and really being truthful to the lore that they have. Right.
This is the company I need to hint that Hobbit game I want.
Yes, you want
to. The one like, please give me my cozy game where you're literally not allowed to get too stressed or too fixated on anything. You have to remain a calm life, balanced life,
so
while you do things.
I don't want to miss this comment, but we have our puzzle maker, Richard Molina, in the chat, and he wants to play your game. So just want to tell you.
It's not very puzzly, but it's cute. It's very cute, and I'm happy with
I'm so excited about that you have that there's a game out there.
I know. Well, it's part of a series of games that exist with the same mechanics, and we just did like a reskin with the slight change of things. So it's not like I've designed a game, but I got to do a bit of dev, which was fun, and I got to do a bit of stuff. And
you're on a box cover. I mean, that's pretty cool.
That was it. When I said it would be great if we did like a cozy version as a suggestion, I didn't like in a narcissistic way go, please put me on the box. I was like, a cozy version would be cute, and they were like, anyway, you're on the box. And I was like, okay.
That's super
but
cool.
Yeah, I really like this. The artist is lovely, Jennifer May Spooner, and she does all of this series, and she sneaks her dog in. Which is very
cute. That's cute.
My favorite one. Oh, there I am. Different clothes. I don't even know what that jumper is. And I'm really happy that I snuck a chicken in.
Oh, that's cute.
But yeah, it's very cute and it's very quick and easy to learn. And a lot of it was really lovely about this event was a lot of the people there were new gamers. So I set up duels, and we got a little picture of
oh yeah, let's see. You brought duels. Awesome.
Let me click thing. Oh, apparently it's already up. So let's click on this one. There we go.
There we go.
This lovely pair have just got into gaming, and they've just bought Ticket to Ride. Like that's where they're at.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So they played a few things. They like to take things to pubs with their kid and stuff like that. And they just bought Ticket to Ride. So like, very early on. And so I showed them the game. Yeah, and the person on the right got it very quickly. Person on the left was like, but I love seeing the progressions people play duels. The way that they during the game they go from to scoring 2 every time. Like I just really enjoy. And then they're like, they really enjoyed it. And I was asking them about the kind of games that they've been buying, and I was just curious to ask you and the audience here, what games would you recommend now? Like after playing for however long you've been playing to new gamers, is it still the same classics?
That's interesting.
Or is there games that have gone, like the Lord of the Rings trick taking game? Is that the kind of game you'd be like, actually, even though it's new, it could fill the space of say some older trick taking games?
That's a good question. Like, I thank you, Axel, for Flamecraft. I actually really do. I know this is self-serving, and it's that we made Flamecraft, but I do like how someone pointed this out. Now I'm trying to remember the channel, but someone pointed out that it has this level up to it, which is that you don't get powers on the shops at first. So the initial thing that Flamecraft did that I don't even think we were necessarily conscious of, although I'm sure if Manny's watching the stream, he'll be like, I knew I was doing that. But because it didn't have powers on the starter shops, you don't have to learn anything. And then the first shop that comes out in Flamecraft, someone reads the power of the bakery, of the, of whatever shop it is, right? It comes out and the spa, and you read the power of the spa, like 20 minutes into the game, everyone reads one power and has to absorb one rule, not 10 rules at the start of the game. You get one rule when the spa comes out, and you get like another rule when the next shop comes out. Like, oh, well, now what has happened is, now the pottery shop has come out.
Yeah.
That work. That is so friendly as far as somebody trying to absorb. Now, they might not know what they're doing if 10 shops are open at the end and they're like, I don't know if I should go to Home Depot. I don't know if I should go over here. You can still be a little bit figuring it out, but that is a good characteristic of a welcoming game, is a game that you can, like, during the game, level up yourself. When you say the duels captured it, I also think that's really cool that happens. We didn't necessarily mean for that to happen, but it's so great that we pulled that off again.
Yeah, and I think if you're teaching it to someone, if I'm teaching it to someone, I'm not going to go full whack because I know that I can spot them. I can spot the things. I know what I'm looking for. So I'm always going to be teaching in a kind of the way that I would normally teach a game, where I wouldn't deliberately, try and get everything. I'd just be like, they're learning the game, and then because it only takes like one game to really pick it up, the next game we can be on the same level. But having two people learning and teaching them, you see both of them do it at the same time, which is really lovely. Just seeing people just like go help each other as well. They'll be like, ooh, and sometimes they don't hide their cards because they're just playing it, and then they start to go, I'm not going to give you that, and you're like, hang on a second, hide my cards now.
They didn't obviously they didn't see, like, when you accidentally let me know you needed a 3 plan, then my entire game was like, well, I can't let Rosie have this card.
Yep. It depends on the players.
Yeah, I agree that in duels, when I had it out for KublaCon, I would be tempted to tell people how great the Iron Dragon was, but I was like, you'll see. You'll when the board's more crowded, all of a sudden you'll go, oh, I could do this and this. But anyway, I'm trying to think about other games that I would, if there's a classic game that I would.
Quackleton says Quacks, which
Quacks of Quedlinburg is a good game.
It's a great game. Also, didn't realize how popular it was till I started making content about it. And the amount of people that just went, love Quacks. I was just really surprised that the audience was there on TikTok for Quacks. I always thought that the name Quacks of Quedlinburg was such an obscure name to really know. And then the art isn't one that you'd expect to be, going mainstream.
Another good one, Sagrada, is
a beautiful game.
It's a great choice.
Is there a legacy version?
There is a legacy version now. I was actually talking to Daryl Andrews about it because he was at RageCon, and he said that the legacy version was really fun for them to make because they could break out of traditional stained glass square. They were basically, he said, when you see it, there's just all these fun patterns where we could let the patterns be more like organic and different, and because we were having fun with the whole concept. I do want to play that one, Legacy, to see what that's like.
I'm curious too.
That is a good one, Sagrada. I was actually going to say that there's a game that came out. I don't think it's necessarily like very gateway, but on the other hand, I never have a hard time teaching this game, and I can do it in like minutes. And it's Castle Combo. Like, I keep really enjoying how fast that is for anyone.
It's very new as well. I think
it's very new, so I wouldn't like say that it's gotten in my rotation yet, but it's so good for almost every level of gamer, for every type of gamer, because it has plenty of depth. If you're playing against people who know how to build engines and can like figure out the perfect combos, it's a cutthroat little game. But if you're not, and you just want to like have the joy of discovering 2 cards that go together, it's also there, right? It's in there.
Yeah, I also really like Far Away. I think that Far Away is one where the first game everyone goes, I think I've got it, and then they do it completely wrong.
No, Far Away is actually, you have to play 2 games because the first game everyone goes.
Yeah, the first game I got it wrong. I played it with some video game designers who don't really play board games at UK Games Expo. Played it, and then he went, right, do it again. I was like, yeah. Yeah. I got the expansion for it, and a little expansion, I really appreciate these little packet expansions games companies making. These are all like, they're just a few cards, and it's a really nice way to give like a little addition to a game that's a small game. I see so many expansions that are like the exact same size as the original game, and you're just like surprised that there's that much content, which I don't dislike, but I do appreciate like a little expansion, like a little tiny one.
By the way, this is not on the same topic of like welcoming games, but have you heard of the All Aboard, the small little card game that just came out?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so it was really cute, super cute. Basically, there's like 4 boats. The boats might depend on player count, but so let's say there's 4 players and there's 4 boats. Everybody has a deck of animals that want to travel on these boats. I guess the theme is, a little bit of Noah's Ark or whatever, but you basically have a deck of animals that go from, I think, 0 to 13 weight. So the elephant's like a 13, right? And then the boats are anywhere between like 7 and 28 in sort of what capacity they can hold. And so you draw 5 cards out of your deck, but the entire game you're never going to get a redraw of the deck. So you're only going to play the cards you play. So like your last 5 cards, you might get, let's say you have a monkey and a zebra and a giraffe or whatever. You play what you get. So the first 5 cards you get, you might have your elephant, which is a very heavy animal, and you're trying to put it on a boat. The whole thing is, if you could put it on a boat where the addition of all the animals on the boat doesn't sink the boat, you score the card. So you're like, okay, I'm going to put my elephant on this boat, which is like a 13, and this boat's only a 14. Well, if someone else puts like a 3, that boat's gone. That boat's going to sink. So, of course, that person doesn't want to put that card either. So there's like a little tiny bird that weighs like a -1 or like a 0 because it could fly up and not add anything to the boat or whatever. But then each card has a power on it. So like the monkey, I forget the monkey's like a weight 4 or something. The monkey will conspire with the largest animal to throw the second largest animal onto the next boat. So
Okay.
play your monkey card down, you're like, okay, the addition will be like the elephant's 13 and the monkey's 4. So we're definitely going to be a 17, but we're going to throw that 9 zebra onto the next boat, which will screw up the next boat. So it's very fun and clever. I had such a fun time playing it. And then there's other little tiny mechanisms where if 2 animals are played together, they're in love. And so their powers don't activate. So if you play a monkey and another monkey, they're too busy to activate either of their powers, which is a fascinating, like, cancel out. Like, somebody can play a power that you're like, oh, I don't want that power to happen. I know, I'll play the exact same animal, and that'll stop that power. And if you play 3 of a kind of animal, it's a love triangle. They're in a fight, and the boat automatically sinks. If you play any animal, boat's gone.
So is it simultaneous?
It's everyone drafts their 5 cards, and then you take turns playing on a boat. But the trick is that the second card you play is all face down. So no one has any idea what you've done in round 2. And then round 3, you take 1 more card out of your 5 and you play face up again.
Yeah.
You score then, and then you play again. You draw another 5 cards. I believe you play 3 times with 5 cards. So you always have options, but you know that when the other thing is a little bit of card counting. You know when someone's already played their monkey that's come up again, right? So you're like, okay, you can't still play an elephant. So I know you don't have a 13, but I don't know what you just played face down over there, and I don't want that boat to sink. So it's very clever. I like it quite a bit.
Yeah, so I think Impy mentioned Zuli, and it kind of sounds a little bit like Zuli, where you're putting animals in habitats, but they have rules for being there.
Nice.
You can't have 2 of this, 2 bears or 2 lions. You want 2 of these. Zuli's also Moving Wild by Oink Games. It's the same game. They signed it.
Because I was gonna say I love Moving Wild.
Yeah, Moving Wild was signed, so the designer got picked up by Oink Games, and they did a release at Yuki Games Expo 2 years ago. But yeah, really cool. Really great to see a small creator being picked up by Oink Games and then seeing a whole different like redesign of the style. But it's the same game. So.
Why is it Oink doing both of them?
No, the original was his own company. He did it all himself. Zuli's not even like that big. It's like that big. But then they picked up Moving Wild.
Because I was that like when my son was at UK Games Expo, that's all he wanted was to buy Moving Wild, and we couldn't because it was that hot. So we had to wait till the next convention to grab Moving Wild, and then we played the heck out of that game, and still like it's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. The designer's also done a game called fetching feathers, which is birds in hats, and it's got a
Birds and
similar
hats.
kind of like getting the birds with the right habitats and food, getting the birds with the right food, and they've also, I don't know why they're wearing hats. I don't know. Can't remember. But it's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so people talking about My Little Everdell, which I think doesn't need to be with kids at all. It's literally like a mini version of Everdell. So if you don't want the, massive game, it does take up a lot of space. This is basically like a nice way to play the smaller version.
Nice. We make
I
a
haven't played My Little Scythe. I would like to play My Little Scythe.
We make a My Little Andromeda's Edge.
Well, would it actually be cool? So here's the question: is like, what would be the kids' names of our games? Kids' board game names of our games.
I haven't really, it's funny. I haven't really thought.
My little, or like little flame.
Well, I will tell you that, like, because Manny has been designing with his kids in mind the entire time, I do know that he was thinking about Flamecraft duels with his son, and his son would play against them, and he was trying to make sure that it was always going to be fun for the kids. So I feel like nice. His son really wants to play AE after seeing me solo it. That's cool. I remember when I was making Dwellings of Eldervale, my son was really young, and he's like, "What is this that you're making?" And of course, we had fantasy monsters and meeples, and he didn't know anything about what we were doing. But his sense of play was there. So of course, he would take the meeples and put them on top of the minis. And he told me, he's like, when you make these, you got to make it so that these characters can ride the monsters, which was funny because that's what was important. Was the whole like how will I talk to this dragon and ride this dragon around?
I don't know much about space. And Andromeda, is Andromeda a place?
Andromeda is a galaxy, yeah.
Right. So what's smaller than a galaxy?
This is going to test my knowledge of space.
Anyone else in the
Milky Way is the galaxy we're in, right? Although there was
Milky Way's edge.
There was also talk recently that maybe scientists are starting to find out that we might be in the center of a black hole. Actually, we don't know. We're still figuring it out.
Black hole's edge sounds like not where we want to be.
No, it's not.
But like, what's a little system?
Yeah, a solar system is what inside a galaxy.
Twinkle's edge.
Oh, we get to have the stars and planets and whatnot. So Luke is working on a version of like another Andromeda's game where it takes place at a black hole. So that's going to be interesting.
Very interesting. Very cool. I don't think Duels needs to be any younger.
No, that's already good to go.
It already it's like games like Hive where it just doesn't, it's games like Hive or chess where you kind of just depends on the kid reading or anything.
But it's interesting as you look at the designers, because I know Peter C. Hayward, who's one of the co-designers of Critter Kitchen, he does have a young child as well. So he's actually thinking about Critter Kitchen, like a version for them. So he's been really thinking a lot about that lately. So we might end up seeing like something from him that's like a variant where you could just play with, move your 3 meeples, and like he's been thinking about it a lot.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Anything with more critters than I am. That also means we could get more, like literally get more critters, because we could be like, here's a load of different ones. All the animals we missed.
The way that I was thinking these things tie together when you were first talking about like what's a good game for introducing people, and then we immediately started talking about games that are cute, games that have zoo animals. It's funny, but I think Critters have done so much for the hobby because Critters are accessible, right? Everdell was accessible in theme. Flamecraft was accessible in theme. And then it's bringing more people in. Like, they're not things that seem terrifying. They're not things that seem like you can't figure this out. A zoo game in particular is like, well, I know what a lion is, so I don't have to figure that part out. I just have to figure out, oh, the lion. Like in the boat game I was talking about, the elephant gets scared if you put a mouse on the boat. It's kind of a very easy thing to grok that the lion will eat the next largest animal. So it's like you already know basics of animals, and therefore you don't have to make a game mechanism that's that far off.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Oh, Sushi Go is a great game.
Sushi Go.
Love Sushi Go.
That's an amazing call out. I think my son was actually able to play Sushi Go and beat me at age 5 or 6 because he was like doing a strategy of I'm only going to take these cards. And I was like, okay. And I was doing weird strategies. And then I was like, oh, actually your consistent, solid strategy crushed me.
Yeah. I wanted to get the 10th anniversary edition, but owning 2 copies of the same game just
no, it just doesn't feel right. Yeah.
So I've got the tin, the old tin. I don't even have the party version. I've only got the tin, and the tin is now falling apart. Like it just doesn't close. You're just like falls apart. There's sushi everywhere in my bag.
Yeah. I liked it when it was a game that he made, Phil Walker Harding. Also, Century Spice Road. That is actually how Manny started on Flamecraft. He was like, I want a game that's that clean. I want that type of game. And I remember when we started making Flamecraft, it was Century Spice Road was in our heads. Lords of Waterdeep was in our heads because we were trying to figure out a way to make a very entry, like a good starting point.
Yeah. We should mention that we wanted to talk about not just games, but things that add to games, like accessories and things like that. Because
we do want to shout out Game Toppers because they might not have very much time left in their campaign. If people, I've gotten into mats recently because of Game Toppers. They make these really quality mats with like really thick stitching, and they do a campaign every once in a while. They have Game Toppers 5.0, I think only for another hour or two. They might have a late pledge, but they're starting to do, and I know this will appeal to you, Rosie, like Ryan Lockett, like mats. That's like gorgeous art. Gorgeous art. They have mats now that are kind of like, if you like people, couple of like games that people play, like if you play Scythe, they have like a mat that's going to fit that. If you play like what's that one that Arcane Wonders makes, Rome based, I'm losing the name right now, but there's like the vibe of a mat that fits that game. There's a vibe of the mat that fits a foresty type of game. They do have a space mat, but they are also going to work with us on another space mat for Andromeda's Edge. Foundations of Rome, thank you very much.
It was there somewhere.
In Foundations of Rome, they actually have a mat that done by the same artist that like you could put out on your table. And the point is a lot of their mats feel like they're generic enough that if you're playing it doesn't have to be played with Foundations of Rome. It can be played with any game that sort of feels like that's got the vibe. So they have, I wonder how many mats they have
in the Kickstarter.
Well, on their Kickstarter, they're selling not only their tables, because they have different table sizes, the Holmes, the Watson, the Moriarty. They theme all their tables to Sherlock Holmes. But then they are revealing a new Ryan Lockett mat with lots of little Easter eggs on it. But they've got one that's like an underwater pirate treasure mat. They've got
also Ryan Lockett?
No, it's Amber Sharf is the one, the artist for that one. It looks really pretty. They've got another one that's like all little squares for D&D, and it's got like a D&D vibe. You could like play all your characters on it.
Yeah, I love playmats. I've found a way to store them. I feel a lot better about getting them because before it was just boxes, like the long tube boxes everywhere. Like I was just like, I have 15 Lorcana mats. Just
I'm looking at their mats, and it looks like 12, 24, 32 mats at the first glance. And some of them are like, here's a lava theme, here's a stone, here's like Cthulhu. Oh man, there's a lot of really cool ones. So
when did Sandara do one? Last campaign.
So Sandara actually did a mat. She didn't do a game topper. She did not yet, by the way. I'm going to work on this because I think we need a Sandara mat potentially for Flamebound. So put all the good vibes towards that. When we get to that point, I would love to have the Artisan Dragons having like some mat that you could either play Flamecraft, or you could play Duels, or you could play Flamebound, or you could play any game that just fits where you want little tiny.
That would be so cool as well, because if it's Flamecraft on top and it's designed for Flamebound, then the town's in the middle, and then
it goes
leaving town. Yeah, that would look so cool.
So we'll have to talk about that someday. But in the meantime, I've actually made one mat with Game Toppers already, which is I made a Dwellings of Eldervale mat with them. And then it's only we just had to work together on another mat because so many people love that experience of the whole table is thematic. And so we wanted to do an Andromeda's Edge mat, which we've mentioned here, but probably in an update very soon on the Game Found, we're going to reveal more about this mat. So I do believe samples are on their way to London, Rosie, of this mat.
Hopefully me and not just London.
Somewhere in London, you have to find the mat. It's a new escape.
Yeah, you sent me a clue. Off I go. I'm very excited.
But
I don't have a gaming table. I have this thing called a Stowie, which folds out to become. It's a little cube that folds out to become a table.
Yeah.
I have the prototype because it was a Game Found campaign. But it's brilliant for my small flat. But I do have this topper I made that's MDF taped together, and then I used like a velveteen, like a really nice velvet fabric to cover it, velcroed on so it could be washed, and then it just unfolds and we put it on top, so it can fit Andromeda's Edge for 2 to 3 players. It's still massive, but Andromeda's Edge is massive.
Did I ever tell you? I don't know if I mentioned it. Did I tell you I built my own table?
What?
I built a poker table at one point. And in order to build
like round, hexagonal? Like...
So I built a oval poker table that seats 10. And I had to go to the store and buy, so there's layers and layers of wood. The top layer had to be varnished in like a really good quality piece of oak that I had to cut exactly right. And then I had to put in the center, I had to go to a place in my town called Foam Mart. I can't even believe there was a building. They just sell foam. I had to buy just the right kind of bouncy foam for the chips and the cards, and then put like a velveteen surface over that for the center of the table. I had cup holders drilled into the wooden sides. And then the outer railing also had to have a layer of foam and then like a leather over that. This was a whole process. I built this whole table because I was seriously into poker at the time.
And I was actually just talking to someone today about casinos and stuff like that. And apparently the only place you can get truly balanced dice is in Vegas. They're like perfectly balanced dice.
Yeah,
and when they're done with them, they drill a hole so no one could use them or like mess with them.
Yeah. There's a whole thing about those dice. And in all the little shops in Vegas, they sell some of the dice that are now off the table.
But with holes in.
Yeah, with like they don't like, it's not guaranteed to be perfect rolls, but like the dice that are in Vegas are 100% checked for all that.
That's very cool.
I think we've gone along, like board games, it's funny because we've done so many custom component dice over the years. I don't think anyone stopped to ask whether dice are rolling consistently on given numbers anymore, because in Vegas it's all balanced. If you're playing craps, like the whole thing about about the whole rolling, the most likely number to roll just probability wise is 7, right? Because of 4 and 3, 2 and 5, and 1 and 6, all the combinations of 7. This is what Catan was built on.
Yeah.
But if you have dice that aren't balanced correctly, that's not necessarily true. So I don't know that anyone's ever luckily no one stops and tries to analyze a board game and go, are these dice 100%?
Well, yeah, I only analyze them when I see unusual shaped ones.
So
today at the convention I was at, there was a company called Mystery Dice Goblin, which apparently are also on sale in the US in like 40 shops. And they have loads of different of these, like
Mystery Dice Goblin.
Yeah.
Nice.
And they have loads of different themes, or like these are the sharp cornered one. They have liquid core ones. They have cheaper ones than those. And then it was really lovely. Chatting to them was really lovely because they gave me, I don't know, such a Cardboard Alchemy vibe, because they were just like, we aren't interested in, when we talk about our shops and stuff, we aren't trying to sell the dice. We're trying to get people into those places so we don't lose board game shops. And I was like, they really care about the community. They really care about doing the right things for their customers and stuff. So they did this thing where if I don't like what was inside, I could swap it for what was out already. And I did swap it because I wanted what was out.
Oh, I see. They got you.
And it was like I don't know how well people are going to be able to see these, but they have castles inside them.
Holy cow. That's amazing.
And they're all a whole set.
Now those are dice,
right?
Unbelievable.
This was so pointy it hurts.
Those are amazing.
And
I
then
have to put you on full screen for this. I mean, look at that.
trying to get looks giving me Game of Thrones vibes.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so you can see why I was like, I'm swapping for those.
Yeah, I thought I knew how to, I thought we would make cool components. Look at these things.
So yeah, they do like these dice, mystery dice bags. Oh, there's one more. And this one's a little. I love clear dice.
Wow.
So cool.
Yeah. That's neat.
So pointy it hurts. Rosy Pocket 2025.
You know what's funny? So I have a tangent on that, but like when we were making the Dwellings of Eldervale miniatures, we decided to make the Chaos Beast be like a blob with lots of spikes on it. And the first sample I got was so spiky. I mean, it hurt to pick the mini up. It was like, we have to tone these things down because every time I go to move the monster, it hurts.
But that's maybe the power of the monster.
Like, I mean, I was like, very, very thematic, but I was like, someone's going to I mean, I don't know why it would be on the floor, but I'm like, I do not want this to be damaging.
Isn't the Iron Storm quite pointy?
No, well, all right, so it's a little pointy.
I wouldn't want to stand on that. That's for sure.
Yeah. By the way, there was a comment about my poker table, and I realized I will find some pictures sometime to show it because I did have a fun time building that table. I've always thought about building a board game table after that, taking that lesson and saying, like, what do I want in a board game table? Yeah. But I don't have the time. So I've been trying to think whether or not I'm going to go to one of those companies that has a board game table, go to an interim company like Game Toppers. Obviously, I do have a Game Topper already, and it's a very good solution to put on top of an existing table because it just does the job. Yeah. And you can put pretty mats on it, or to go all the way out and say, no, I will find time to build one because I know that I kind of want, I mean, some of the latest tables that you see from Raskellers have like lights in them and so I want some bling on the table that I have in mind.
It's such a small world because we were shown a table where Raskellers that was quite strange. It was a D&D DMing table, so it was like a half circle.
Oh, I've seen those type of designs, yeah.
I've now seen that person's one on TikTok. They were like, this is the table I got commissioned. This is my table. And I'm like, I've seen this table in like a video call with Raskellers.
Did they have it? So they custom made, right?
Yes, it's custom made so that one side is like a full table where you're able to do your DMing from. But I'm gonna hear that. There's just sirens everywhere. Love Newcastle. Yeah, they got a whole area where they can run their DM from, and then they've got a round table so they can see everyone, like 5 or 6 people, I think. It's very cool. It's very cool.
So if we're gonna talk about components, and we've already shown some amazing dice that blow away every other die out there. What is like the most important? Because I'm gonna give a fun fact. So we made for Flamecraft. We made dragons that are custom. So you don't have to play with the dragon meeples. You can play with miniatures. We also made coins, which upgrade the cardboard coins into metal, thick 3mm coins that feel really good to have like this hoard of coins. But we also made wooden resources that turn the cardboard bits into like little pieces of toast. What do you think sells the most out of those when they're sold separately? What do people want to upgrade Flamecraft with the most? Is it, I want the dragons, I need the minis, or is it I need the dragon horde, or is it I need the resources?
I would have thought it was the resources because they get handled the most. They are cardboard, and coins are obviously cardboard as well, but they don't get handled as much because you're literally constantly using those, and it's one hell of an upgrade. But I think it's the dragon minis.
Yeah,
because they're really cool, and you get the pink dragon meeple and the heart, which completes your set.
Sailor Vest. Easily the dragons are too cute, right? I would have put money on the dragons, but it's not the dragons. The dragons are the second seller. The coins are last.
It's the goods.
It's the goods. It's the little toasts. That's what sells the most. Those run out at stores, and then they have dragons and coins left, and then they have coins left. And I'm just like
Yeah.
surprised by the
But it's probably the wear and tear factor when you can rationalize the reason for upgrading, such as mine are getting worn down. I've been to board game cafes where their Flamecraft has been played hundreds of times, and it's getting the rulebook is taped together. My local place had a copy that was so sad I went and replaced it. I was like,
I have to do that at my store too. I was like,
please, this is so sad.
Copy, right? Yeah,
I gave them like a deluxe that I had spare, and then they were just like, "We're not going to put this out. It's too nice." I went, "Please put it out because yours is terrible."
Yeah, I guess to the credit of standard Flamecraft, the little dragon meeples that you can move around are cute, and so you think to yourself, "I already have that," but there's such a discrepancy between these little cardboard pieces of toast and little I'm going to handle the resources a lot, and I do want that to
and as Seasonal said, the trays and Quirkleton, the trays are really good, having the organization, and you can fit them in the standard.
That's a shout out for game trays that did really good stuff. So that's another component type of thing that people will, I guess when you look at Flamecraft Deluxe, we also put game trays in it, and on the Kickstarter, that was one of people would tell me, I backed because there were minis, I backed because there were coins, I backed because of little toast, and I backed because of game trays.
Yeah.
And I backed because of Sandara. There was a combo that basically was like, let me just pick one of these elements. So I'm trying to think if what I value if I'm looking at a game. I think meeples, surprisingly for me, when I look at was it Kelp?
Beautiful.
I mean, just a gorgeous production, and when there's really good wooden pieces, I think
they're mahjong tiles.
Yes, they have
and they are very clacky and very nice, and they have this beautiful water texture on the back. Stunning.
I'm actually that's part of the reason why I wanted to make so for Flamecraft Duels we were chasing the tokens they have to feel good. And part of have you ever played Spirits of the Forest?
I've seen it.
Spirits of the Forest has such clacky tiles, and they're gorgeous. The artist for that one, I'm trying to remember her last name, Natalie, I think, but they're gorgeous looking, and part of it is that getting this vibe of a very sophisticated, elegant game, and then it makes this noise when you clack your tiles. It's part of the reason why I when I used to play poker, and I think the success of Splendor was the fact that poker chips just feel good.
And Hive,
Hive,
the feel of and he went with Bakelite, Johnny Yanni. He was like, I'm gonna go with Bakelite for those, which is so fascinating. But you could, because it was just black and white, and it was just one color usage in it, so it was very cool. And I think if anyone out there's if I was to publish a game and how I wanted to make sure it was really successful, what would you do? I was make it the clackiest game. If you can do a game where it doesn't require a board and it's super clacky. I
even how I think in Spirits of the Forest, I was talking to Thundergriff, who's the publisher, and I was like, "How did you make this? Is this?" And it turns out that the tiles in Spirits of the Forest are wood with a hollow inside. They're two wood pieces attached to the surface, and then because of that air inside the wood, you get that. That's what creates the clacking noise when you.
That seems excessive. Just cut them out of wood.
No, it's all about the little airy bit between the wood.
Very, very cool. I like that a lot. Looking forward to Duels for the clickety clacks.
Clickety clacks.
A lot of people talked about that today at the event. Then when they came over and played, they were like, "Yes, these are very nice."
Yeah, I do actually. Another shout out to, Stonemeyer. When I first bought Wingspan, he had a tactile approach where the bottom part of the Wingspan boards had a little bit of a leather bottom or something, just something that felt really good on the it didn't slide on the table. But also the surface of some of his boards were really satisfying. A lot of times when Kickstarter first became really popular, people started putting linen print on cards and on boards. It became a thing on Kickstarter that if your Kickstarter did not say that it had like a linen print, like people were like, I'm not going to back this.
Yeah.
Because it's that texture when sealed under a gloss varnish, that texture comes through and makes it feel sophisticated. It makes it feel better than an average card.
Yeah.
So
one of my favorites is Inside Up's Roll and Write Records, because they created the record effect on the cards and the box.
Oh, wow.
It's got that, like, you run your finger down it and you can see the circles on it, and it's like that attention to detail is so good. And every card you're like, oh, look at that. Like, look at that texture. It's so good. Like,
this is something about board gaming that I think is built into the experience. I think the tactile nature of this is why, like when we were doing Flamecraft, we were trying to decide if the neoprene mat should come in every copy. I was kind of like, this is going to be just going to have this feel to it that I think we want. And then the tokens stayed with like wooden dragons and wooden hearts, because I just think that feels good. That feels really satisfying.
Yeah, I agree. Very much so. I have some components here, but they are given to me by fans today.
Nice.
A needle felted frog from my friend Ben. Thank you very much, Ben.
Oh, you're
reminding the name of this one.
I don't know if you saw this campaign, but there was a person who funded a campaign of all dinosaurs that were all crocheted dinosaurs.
Yes, I saw that game. It gives you the stuff to make them.
You could actually make.
It was like lava something, and you were trying to avoid the lava.
I don't remember.
But I said they asked me if I could play it and get the crocheted kit, and I was like, I do not have time to crochet. I'm so sorry. I do not have time to crochet these beautiful, cute. But it was
adorable because they had worked out a way that crocheted dinosaurs were going to be the characters in the game.
Yeah. Cute. And another frog with a rather voluptuous behind.
Lava Run? Was that the name of the game?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Lava Run. I think that must have come out now, or maybe it's in production.
I also had someone come over, and they're working on their own 3D printing, and they made me a dragon.
Nice. Oh, that's cute. Thank
you for studying
seasonal.
They're studying their masters they're doing in like women in miniatures, trying to create miniatures that are less the word is sexy, I guess. Like more varied and different styles. I thought they were really cool.
Yeah.
So they said, I saw you paint the Flamecraft minis, which I have a series on YouTube and also on TikTok, and there's a couple on Instagram, and you can see the playlist. And they were like, you could try these. And I'm like, heck yeah, I've already got the colors for dragons. So
yeah.
Really cute.
Well, to some degree, this is our company in a nutshell too. I think every game that we've made, we tried to like explore different materials. Like I think one of the ones we got the most successful with is the stars in Critter Kitchen Deluxe.
My goodness.
Those things turned out like, I feel like they're Mario Kart stars, and they're just so, they're like the weight of them and the whole vibe of like, I just want to collect points in that game because I get to take the stars and have it.
I just remember Danny Standring's face, which is like a clip on a video. It's just like,
yeah, we should make like packs of those stars because those were good.
They're beautiful. They did work for any game. I think when you're saying about like logic, people are buying the goods the most. For me, it was always coins. If there was coins for a Ryan Laukert game, and there always was, I'd be like, I need the coins. The coins are the most important bit.
It's a funny thing that you say that, because so my theory is that if every game had nice coins, and every time you bought the nice coins, you would just have eventually you could go, you know what, instead I'm just going to buy a really nice batch of coins and use them for all games. I don't need to buy coins over and over again. But somehow having a pirate coin and a Flamecraft coin and a different kind of coin and a currency that's good for every game feels different. So then every game just sort of begets that's another coin. And I went over to Corey Thompson's house, and he has taken all the deluxe coins out of his games and put them in bowls near his game space, so that you could just pull out a game, whether it has coins or not, and then go, I think we need a medieval coin for this, or we need this game needs like a fancy sci-fi coin, and he has them all ready to go. Oh my God, it's so good.
So the tactile nature of clicky clacky and coins, is there a game where coins are the tactile thing that you move around and like metal coins? Like, is there a game? Because obviously in duels, you're literally playing with the coins that you've got. There's 3 each.
You did
But
it.
I'm just curious if like anyone's gone, coins are amazing. Metal coins are amazing. I'm going to focus my game around using metal coins.
Well, I
Yeah.
will tell you, and this is just funny. This is where production. This is where ideas and components meet the rubber. The rubber hits the road on production cost. Because when we were making Flamecraft, we were going to make it so that every player had hordes of coins in front of them, and then thank you for saying that about Andromeda's Edge coins. By the way, we had a lot of fun.
Credits are
The credits,
beautiful.
yeah, we had a lot of fun with those because Sergio said, "What if we designed it like this?" And I was like, "Oh, are you thinking that the surface is extruded with like this bumpiness to it and a hole in the center?" And I was like, "That feels galactic and interesting." So I was very excited to make those coins. But the thing about the Flamecraft game with all those coins became cost prohibitive. Unfortunately, making a whole bunch of metal coins. So I imagine if there is a game out there that just has coins, it's a very clean design that doesn't need a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm thinking of some kind of game where it really is just the coins.
Yeah.
Like some, like, I guess, did you have Pogs? Do you remember Pogs?
Yeah, absolutely remember.
And I know there's a new game that I saw people like Grant and Danny were playing it, and it's like Pogs are back or something. Or is it another game called Pogs? I don't know, but you have to smash them and try and make it flick into the air and catch it or something like that. I loved those games as a kid. So like something with metal coins where you get to hold them or place them or.
By the way, who's on the cutting edge of components is Roxley Games.
Oh yeah.
And yeah. I'll tell you 2 examples. One is they made a game, I think it's called Skyrise. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And what they did was they printed plastic for their deluxe edition. You can buy these pieces that lock into each other on top of the board, and the board's got sky. The pieces got gears, and it's printed in plastic, and then there's a board printed on top of that. It just feels unbelievably deluxe. But then they stepped it up a notch when they did the game Excalibur, where they printed UV printing on these poker chips, but the surface of the poker chip is not flat. I was like, whoa, hold on a second. So I'm now looking at Roxley going, okay, I need to pay attention to I already was, but I'm like, that's next level. So
yeah, I liked the 2-player game. I can't remember, my brain's gone, but it's an excellent 2-player where you're gods and you're trying to. It's very simple. You move up. You're trying to move up to the top, and everyone's trying to stop you, and you're building towers. Someone must know that Roxley game. I'm pretty sure that's a Roxley game.
Oh, are you talking about? Are you talking about Santorini?
Yeah, Santorini.
Santorini is gorgeous. 100%. That's a great
game. And that one has like, again, that the board is sat like it's floating like on a cloud. The idea that you're in the sky and very cool, very cool. I've not played they did another one, and the first one was really hard to get. Like I would recommend Santorini. Everyone go, we can't get it, and I'm like, I wonder if it's just not in distribution anymore. And then they've made a new version, and there's like a Sphinx one, I think it is. So yeah, really beautiful, really beautiful. We're running out of time, but I wanted to share the coloring sheets that we've got.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's just chat, because I've had a few questions as well, and please, if you got any questions for us, please send them in.
And this is a contest that we're doing till like next week, or do you have one more week left?
Till the 21st of July.
It's about a week. We can change.
10 days. So we have this little coloring in competition where Sandara made a coloring in sheet. It's shared on our groups. You can grab it there, and you can always message me if you can't find it, and we can sort you out. Basically, people have been coloring them in, and it's really lovely. And I wanted to share some of the ones that we've had. And if you want to enter, all you have to do is post it in any of our groups. So Andromeda's Edge, Critic Kitchen, Flamecraft. You can also post it on Instagram. You just need to use the hashtag Cardboard Alchemy 5.
Because we turned 5 years old as a company.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. This is one I can't see the age because it's stuck behind the stat in this video.
10-year-old, my 10-year-old loved coloring this, it says.
It's very cute. I love the rainbow balloon.
The rainbow balloon is epic, is what I say.
People have been really getting into what's in the balloons, like different balloons. I'm enjoying that. But yeah, it's really lovely. They've got great shading, and we're seeing some more people's kids doing it. It's very cute.
So this is a Cardboard Alchemy is 5 dedication, right?
Yeah.
What Cardboard Alchemy game has balloons in it?
Well, this is a test.
No, this is for the chat. There's
well,
balloons.
actually, 2 games.
I mean, there are 2 games that have balloons, unless there's an Andromeda's Edge balloon I don't know about.
Because it's on the rulebook for duels, right?
It's on the rulebook for duels. Also, I believe an Iron Dragon arrives in a hot air balloon in Flamecraft promo card, but also the Critter Kitchen has balloons as well. Yeah, there's balloons on Flamecraft duels. There you go.
So we've got a couple more here to share. We've got this beautiful one.
I like how the ribbon changes. Okay, first of all, there's a lot of like Easter egg type nods here. So there's critters in the balloons that remind me of how a fancy dragon would have dealt with balloons. And then the ribbon changes like every time it hits another corner or resource. It's really cool.
The animals in the balloon is just genius. They're now clear balloons.
Yeah,
you can get them with little like balloon animals.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Yeah,
I love that. And it's beautiful shading.
By the way, everyone treated the duels token like it was a coin, which is no problem because it looks like a coin. But it's interesting to see. But I love also this one has like the Mission Catastrophe dice has a flaming asteroid on it, so I like it a lot.
Yeah,
it's nice.
I'm gonna do one of these coloring sheets. I'm gonna make a video, and I'm gonna try and go completely off kilter. I'm not doing reverse colors. My brain's not smart enough.
Your universe, Cardboard Alchemy. Nice. I'm gonna do one where I color everything in but the mushroom. That's what I'm doing. Kidding.
Just a big red cross.
Nope, we're not having any of this. Nope.
And this one was a very soft textured one, and they did a fun splat behind the.
I am a big fan of the splat. My very first game that I made was What the Food, and the logo was in a splat. So I like that whole like chaos of a splat having dots and kind of.
But they've also elevated the word without coloring it in. The cardboard is white. So it's a very clever way to like. Yeah.
I really like this one.
I appreciate all the potatoes as well. Like people are getting that potato down. It's appreciate
it. We can compare all the potatoes. They're quite good. What Cardboard Alchemy game has a potato in it? That was one of our questions on the newsletter, wasn't it?
It was indeed. But yeah, very cool. I'm curious what the materials used were. I think this one is like a sort of pastel with bit mixed media. Some of them are coloring pencils.
I'm just now focusing on the 5. That is a wicked 5.
It's really cool. Yeah. Cool. But yeah, you still got time to enter, so you can possibly 5 people will be chosen to win signed art prints from Sundaratang. So exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Very cool. And they're very rare. They're very rare.
Okay, you know what? There are 2 games with potato because yes, the potato appeared in Mission Catastrophe, but then we named a dragon potato. So yes, there's actually 2 games with a potato.
And this potato is also giving like sweet potato vibes from the sort of shape.
Yeah.
But that's because in the UK our potatoes are pretty basic.
Yeah, no, you can get a good russet potato that's that shape too. But sure. Sweet potatoes are great. So I'm down. If it's a sweet potato, I'm still down. I love
it's a good name for a dragon, isn't it?
Just like I would be crossing out the mushroom, I'd be circling the potato. I'd be like, yes.
Thank you everyone for sending these in. They're so cool. Like I love seeing them.
One time Rosie and I were hanging out together and there was a potato bar where you could like put whatever you wanted in the potato. That was amazing.
Was that? Where did we go?
Remember?
Oh, hash browns.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about the time when you came out for a film shoot and then we built like it was all potato.
Oh, we made it. Yeah,
we made it. And I love something about a potato bar or a taco bar or some kind of you create your own. I guess it's no surprise because I like Kickstarters and I like to make games, but like that makes me at the beginning of that meal, regardless of whatever happens, I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. I get to choose what I want to do here.
Chat, what is your baked potato / jacket potato, the correct word for it, topping of choice. Because that was the discussion that was going on. Was I put out tuna mayo, and
which I
America
never would have tried in a million years until you told me, no, this is good in a potato.
It's good in a potato. It's good in a
By
potato.
the way, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I was in the northeast part of England visiting some castles near Scotland, and on the way to a castle, there was a stand offering jacket potatoes. I had to stop and be like, yes, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to go see this castle, and I'm going to have a baked potato right now.
There are not enough baked potato vans. I used to work for a jeweler. I was learning how to make jewelry, and just outside was this baked potato van person with a proper, like one of those proper ovens, and they were beautiful. And I was like, I'm so excited whenever I see anyone that does jacket potatoes. But it's quite rare because they take ages to actually cook well. Like, it's an hour or so. So, but I'm always like, we'll see it on a menu. No problem. I'm done. We've got some things, apparently potato, butter, cheese and beans, and 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 who knows what next. Maybe bacon. Raclette cheese. I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
Ooh. Is it like a sort of stringy cheese, like a melty cheese? Salmon and cream. Oh, sounds amazing. Salmon and anything, and I'm there.
I am very shocked by that because I guess it's potatoes and fish that made me go, wait, what?
Potatoes and fish are amazing.
Well, I'm now realizing that because when I have fish
and chips,
yes, I will grant fish and chips, but when I think fish, I think rice. That's my starch of choice.
True. I do as well. I do.
So I just don't think I go potato. Interesting. But now fish.
But now when I think fish, I think of that soup that Sandara made with a fish head coming out. Cheese and bacon bits, sour cream and
classic. Actually, both of those together, all of that together, 100%. That's like
brown gravy. I love that you call it specifically brown gravy. When over here that would just be gravy. But I would have gravy on anything. At university, I would have gravy as soup, and I was judged heavily by my flatmates. I'd just be like, "This is soup, right?" They're like, "That's just salt, please."
Clearly, you realize that now we're at the lunch part of the stream, or the dinner part of the stream in your case, where now we're hungry.
Yeah, so I'm at a place where they cook very, very, very nice food. Doug's great. Doug's mum, shocker, amazing. Had a beef massaman last night.
I'm gonna have to, I'm not in that place, so I'm gonna have to go find something. But before we get to that, before we end it, I guess we gotta say, like, what are we gonna play this weekend? You were just at a convention, so you got a bunch of games in, but are you gonna play something else? What's everyone else?
If we can get another game of Pergola in, that'd be nice now that I know. And so Doug has brought a suitcase of games with him because he is not playing. He's got Dobby. So he has brought Fortune and Glory, which, if anyone knows, is massive.
Massive. Yep, I do.
Massive. It is basically Indiana Jones, the game.
The game. Yep, you're running around
with the most bizarre art. It is literally real people in cosplay as the artwork. It's so strange. But he loves it, and he never gets to play it very often. He's also brought all of his time stories up to lend to his brother, which took up a lot of space.
Oh, that's nice. Quirkleton's going to try and teach his wife Mission Catastrophe, Andromeda's Edge, or Critter Kitchen. I love the fact that those are all our games. I mean, we didn't pay you to do that, but awesome.
Maple Valley. They've actually just announced the third game in that series.
Oh yeah, what's it called?
See, I think it's something Market.
Oh, interesting.
But I wonder if it's a different season because.
Oh, by the way, Rich just says that. Rich told me he's learned arcs and he needs to teach me arcs. I want to learn, Rich. Let's do it.
River Market, that's the one.
River Market. Cute name. I like that name.
But I wonder if it's because there was the spring one, there was the winter one. So I'm curious if they're doing all the seasons.
Yes. By the way, if you want to play more Andromeda's Edge, and specifically if anyone wants to learn Genesis, I need to play some Andromeda's Edge Genesis with our Discord. So if you're on our Discord and you want to play on Tabletop Simulator, I can launch a game of Andromeda's Edge Genesis. I could launch one tonight, for example. I would love to get some games of Genesis going. So if anyone wants to learn it, play it, absorb it. The other thing that I just this is going to be announced very soon, but I played Andromeda's Edge in another format that I can't talk about just yet. But when we get to announce that, it's going to be pretty cool.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
I played some Andromeda's Edge. I'm playing lots of Andromeda's Edge all over the place, different ways. I actually just recorded the podcast Boards and Brews with Hungry Gamer, and we were talking about RageCon, and I was explaining one of the best games I had at RageCon was Andromeda's Edge. I mean, it's a little unfair to name your own game, but I'm sorry, it just was the best game. It was epic. It was full of tension. It was cutthroat. It was and I squeezed out a win against Luke Gloria by 3 points. That's not the reason why it was good. It was good because either way, we were good. It was like, oh, this game was great. I want to play some more.
That's awesome.
Axel, let's go. 100%, let's go. Let's get some Andromeda's Edge Genesis.
There were a couple of questions. I wondered what goes into planning the inserts and game trays. I can't imagine looking at CK&A and being like, this is how I'm going to fit this in the box.
Yeah, there's a part of game trays that I think is one of the most underappreciated part, which is how much work game tray spends analyzing the entire package. You know, like a lot of times when people play it, they're like people have even said, and I think it's a fair argument, I don't understand why the board is stored all the way down, 2/3 of the way down through Andromeda's Edge. But the reason why that was done is because the board created a new surface in the box. Mm-hmm. And because you have so many pieces with so many wells, you need to reset the playing surface to create levels. Inside a box that doesn't have levels, the board becomes a floor in a house. So yes, you could have taken the floor and said, let's get it at the top, because then I would have, maybe if we were to redo Andromeda's someday, maybe we would have like tried to do a different orientation. But that is such a complex puzzle to figure out. Mm. And when you're doing that, there are so many things that I bug game trays. I'm like, don't forget, all the solo pieces should be next to each other. Don't forget, I need to be able to grab this piece and this piece together. Don't forget, I want the coolest looking building holder that's ever been done. Don't forget, there have to be cards near the buildings because I don't want to have to go find the cards after I build the development. I want the card right there. And so he has to take all that input from me, and he has to take all of that into a software program and try and figure out this puzzle. So one of the things that we do when we're doing that is we play the game with game trays so that they understand what we're making. Some of my favorite inserts of theirs, for example, Parks. If anyone's ever seen the game trays inserted Parks, there's a gorgeous spot for where the camera token goes. I just think like they thought about how you're not going to need that token till the end, but you need it to be in a certain spot. And then the trays for all the pieces for Parks are in little wooden, like they're in little branches is the shape of them. So we did things in Andromeda's Edge where we tried to think about, okay, so subtle things that are in there are like the dice scoop out very easily because they've got a slope to the way that the dice are stored. They're built in such a way so that you always have, one of my favorite parts about game trays is the push and tilt factor, so that when something is lying in a well, there's just enough gap underneath the token that when you push down, you pop the other side of it up. And so it's not only storage Jenga, but it's also functionality at its core. It's so well done. But I will tell you another funny story. When you are doing those puzzles and they don't fit, like as in the case of Critter Kitchen was a little bit tight, Game Trays came back and said, this box is going to have to be higher. And I was like, no, I wanted it to be smaller. And then they came back again. They're like, this box is going to have to be higher. And I go, no, it's already like, it's like a cake. It's already too fat. And they're like, sorry, these pieces just, you decided to make 400 plus pieces of wood that has volume, and it's going to have to, fit like this.
Although I just got Railroad Tiles, the fancy edition, and it's the same size. So clearly we've started the size.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, Mark? I can't wait to talk to you, Mark, about Andromeda's Edge Genesis, because I don't know if you've seen the post that Mark posted in our Andromeda's Edge group. He and Luke went online to play a little bit of Andromeda's Edge and played Genesis. I want to talk to Mark about doing some solo plays because he's the king of all Andromeda's Edge solo. Played more games than anyone out there. And so I want to see if the Genesis stuff stands the test of time for solo.
And there's a couple of little questions. Just Genesis support teams?
So teams as in the current 2v2?
Seems so, yeah.
Yeah. The entire thing about Genesis is it's just more of the game, right? There's nothing about it that stops 2v2, and there should be nothing about it that it stops solo. The only thing we might have to do for solo is just figure out if Unity needs some special compensation for various new parts of the game. But other than that, I think that the game is still going to work just like the game. And it's just a better version of the game in all ways. Oh, that's nice. I like that AE is one of the few board games you'll play solo. It's so good solo. That's so awesome to hear that. It's actually, we're really honored that Andromeda's Edge is up for Best Solo Game of the Year by Dice Tower. And awesome. I don't know what our chances are, but I really feel excited about that for Luke Laurie because, Luke and Maximus both worked on Andromeda's Edge, but the solo version is really Luke cooked it up. And he cooked it up because he built the Dwelling solo version. And I remember when he built the Dwelling solo version, he had not really built that many solo modes. And I'm really sort of, this isn't the right words, but I'm like proud of Luke, but I'm like really excited that as a designer, he decided to kind of create a solo mode that felt like what he wanted to make. And then I would be ecstatic if it won a solo award because I know there's people, there's a lot of different ways to make solo games. I really do think the system in Andromeda's Edge, which is a refinement of the system in Dwellings, I think it's a very sophisticated system, and I hope it gets recognized for it.
And last question, will Genesis fit into the existing box?
So, yes, with a little bit of an asterisk on the yes, right? So our goal has always been to fit Genesis in the box. And I will tell you, one of the ways that we're doing that is that the bottom tray, if you've put all the tiles in the tray, you might notice that there is room for exactly 4 more tiles. And we've known that this entire time. So when I said to Luke, you have to make Genesis, you have 4 tiles to make. I want 4 tiles. And we even found a way to do more than 4 tiles, but I'm not going to spoil that secret just yet. But we have figured out how to get it to fit in the box just so. The factions should fit. The new ship upgrades should fit, the new tiles should fit, and even the raiders should fit because there's that little well that holds all of your raider bases, and there's enough room to put more raiders there. Now, here's where the asterisk comes by. I think if you sleeve cards, there will be a need to put some cards in the top sleeve or to put them stacked somewhere, or it's not like we didn't think of every card that we were going to make, and we didn't think about how tight it is for sleeves. I mean, we did think about how tight it is for sleeves, but unfortunately, there was some more content we wanted to make. And so I said to Luke, I don't know. If we make those cards, it might not fit sleeves. And we were like, oh, but these cards are so good. So we did make the cards, and it will take some creativity if you are a sleever to fit that in the box. But if you're not sleeving, or if you are only sleeving the modules, but you're not sleeving, say, the mini cards, there's already built-in room for more mini cards. There's already built-in room for more event cards. So it's, and of course, we're going to give a really nice expansion box. So you could go to game night and leave everything in the expansion box. You could do some creative answers there. But if you want to put it all in the main box, the deluxe box, I do believe that's going to be possible. So, I mean, we kind of went Yeah, this is what's funny is we kind of just said our initial goal was let's fit it all in the box, and then we couldn't stop ourselves making content. So I hope that's not bad in the end. It will fit where there's a will, there's a way. It's going to fit in the box. I'm going to do
I'll be doing another video.
Yeah, Rosie will show you how to do it. I will show you how to do it.
Yeah, we always try and make sure, especially with games with this kind of organization, that we give some example of how best to do it. So
yeah, I think also I'm really cognizant of the fact that when we did Deluxe, when we did Andromeda's Edge Deluxe, and when we did Critter Kitchen Deluxe, we didn't worry about combining all the stuff together. We didn't, because you can mix everything in Andromeda's Edge. And I think we're going to do a little bit more of a guide that if people can download that guide as a PDF, that's going to explain all of the content. Because I think what ended up happening is we did duplicates of cards like development cards and Unity cards. You do not need to keep the duplicates, but some people did, and then it didn't fit in the tray. So we'll do a better job of explaining the parts you can let go if you're going to put this all together.
Yep.
But our goal is to make it fit. As crazy as that is, because I see Kickstarters out there where they just make 10 boxes and they ship you 10 boxes, and we're still trying to get you in the same box. Yeah. So how's it going, Allison? Happy Friday. It's quite late, but we're still going, so we're happy to see you. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. And Rosie's videos are the best in the industry. I'm just going to say that right now. There is not a better, first of all, it's an ASMR video. Like all the clickety clacks of how the components go in the box.
My heavy breathing, yeah.
Now you get like this awesome soundtrack, and you get a clear idea of where everything goes. Those are no, you can't mix Andromeda's Edge and Critter Kitchen together. But I think, Axel, you told me that Septima did a really good insert and explained it, and I think since I've seen that, I want to do a much better lay of the land for Andromeda's Edge so that you see where everything goes and how you could put it together. Because there's going to be now 2 expansions in the box, plus more minis, more tiles, more of everything. And a lot of people ask, like, can I mix this all together? And the answer is yes, but of course you may not want to play with every Genesis module. So we'll have a complete guide to all of the
you can play it like I play Carcassonne, where it's all mixed up, but if I'm like, can't remember, put it to the side, draw on.
There is actually not going to be a Critter Kitchen faction at this time, but I will tell you that Luke has come up with an idea for a Whisperwood faction, which is very funny to me because it's going to be a nod to Whisperwood before Whisperwood is a thing. Because Luke is now working with us on Whisperwood and got very inspired by that. And so there is a Whisperwood faction now in Andromeda's Edge. So we're going to land on a planet that apparently is going to be the Whisperwood planet, figure out more about that planet, then zoom back out, and eventually we'll go in depth back to that planet on the ground.
Nice. Very cool.
And Mark Dandridge knows all about that faction because he's got a chance to sneak peek it with Luke. So. Nice. And I can show more of you in Discord. So if you want to play Andromeda's Edge Genesis, come along. We're also going to do an update on the Discord, not on the Discord, on the Game Found very soon to explain what's coming, what date it might be coming. So all that stuff coming up. Cool. We're excited to go back to Andromeda's Edge. And now I think is the time of the show where we go get jacket potatoes. I think that's where we're at right now. So if we didn't answer your question, you can ask it on this YouTube. We'll still come back every week. We do a stream. We can answer it then. You can also ask it in our Discord. You can ask it in our Facebook groups. We have a Flamecraft group, a Critter Kitchen group, and an Andromeda's Edge group. And I suppose within like about 2 weeks, we're going to make a Whisperwood group because we got to get talking about Whisperwood as well. So if you have any questions on any of the games, you can ask in any of those places and we'll get it answered. And to all the comments that say this is how you kick off the weekend, thank you very much. I hope you have a good time and game on. Enjoy
Thanks, everyone.